headphones for better experience. Welcome to The Lost Letters, an audiobook adventure blending heartwarming romance, hilarious mishaps, mind-bending time travel, and shadowy mysteries. Narrated by me, Sam, a host at the Murmur.box YouTube channel, your guide through this cinematic tale of love, betrayal, and second chances. I'll paint the scenes vividly, like a movie unfolding in your mind, complete with sweeping visuals, witty banter, and edge of your seat twists. Imagine a bustling TV studio in the heart of the city, lights glaring like spotlights on a stage. The air hums with the low buzz of cameras and hurried producers. Papers rustle, coffee cups steam, and the faint scent of makeup and electronics fills the room. At the center sits Bella Thompson, our heroine, poised, professional, with a cascade of dark hair framing her determined face. She's 28, an orphan who clawed her way up from nothing to become a top news anchor. Her desk is cluttered with notes, a half eaten granola bar, and a framed photo of her younger self, smiling innocently. But today, her voice wavers just a touch as she reads the headline, her fingers gripping the script a little too tightly. Ladies and gentlemen, in a stunning turn of events, Xavier Langford has been appointed CEO of Harrington Enterprises, succeeding the legendary Charles Harrington. Xavier, son-in-law to the former CEO, steps into the role amid cheers from the board. This marks a new era for the tech giant. Bella's mind races as she delivers the lines, her eyes fixed on the teleprompter but her thoughts drifting far away. Internally, she's a whirlwind of emotions, memories flashing like old film reels. She remembers the first time she saw Xavier back in high school, his shy smile lighting up the classroom. Xavier, my Xavier. No, not mine. He belongs to Amelia now. She deserves him, the perfect match for a CEO's daughter. But oh, how my heart aches. Deep down, the love she buried years ago stirs like a forgotten melody, a quiet ache in her chest that she pushes down with practiced ease. She forces a smile for the camera, her lips curving upward while her eyes betray a flicker of sadness. Wrapping up with her signature sign-off, "This is Bella Thompson, keeping you informed." The director calls cut, and the studio erupts in a brief round of applause, but Bella just nods, gathering her things with mechanical precision. As she steps off the set, her producer, a wiry man named Tom with a perpetual coffee stain on his tie, claps her on the back. "Great job, Bella. That Harrington story's gold. Viewership's through the roof." She murmurs a thanks, but her mind is elsewhere, replaying snippets of her past. Walking to her dressing room, the hallway lined with posters of past broadcasts, she pauses at a water cooler, splashing her face to shake off the memories. The cool water drips down her chin, mirroring the unshed tears she refuses to let fall. Cut to a few months later. The same studio, but now the atmosphere is tense. The electric with shock, the air thicker with urgency. Reporters whisper in corners, phones buzz incessantly, and the scent of fresh ink from printed scripts hangs heavy. Bella's hands tremble as she grips the script, her nails digging into the paper. She adjusts her microphone, takes a deep breath, and plunges in. Breaking news: Xavier Langford, the newly appointed CEO of Harrington Enterprises, has been found dead in what authorities are calling a suicide. A press release from the family reveals a dark secret. Xavier had long-standing ties to a drug mafia and succumbed to an overdose. The words hit her like a punch to the gut, her voice cracking ever so slightly on overdose. She pauses for a split second, composing herself as the camera zooms in. Devastated, she chokes back tears on air, her mind screaming in denial. This can't be true. Xavier? Drugs? He was the most ambitious, straight-laced guy I knew. Flashback to their youth? Xavier, arriving in the city from his village roots. Father, a humble university professor. Mother, a devoted housewife. He was a scholarship student at the top university, driven by dreams, not vices. In her mind's eye, she sees him studying late into the night, his desk lamp casting shadows on his determined face, books piled high. She remembers helping him with assignments, their laughter echoing in the library, a stolen moment where their hands brushed over a textbook. The broadcast ends, and Bella rushes to the bathroom, splashing water on her face again, staring at her reflection. Pull it together, she whispers to herself, but the tears come anyway, silent and hot. She dries her eyes, straightens her blazer, and heads out, determined to seek answers. After the broadcast, Bella drives to the Harrington mansion, where she grew up alongside Amelia. The road winds through upscale neighborhoods, lined with manicured lawns and towering gates. Rain pours down, drumming on her windshield like accusatory fingers. She's estranged from Amelia now, after a bitter quarrel years ago that left scars unspoken. Bella pounds on the grand doors, rain soaking her through, her hair plastered to her face, clothes clinging coldly. Amelia! Open up! Why did your family lie? Xavier wasn't into drugs. I know him! Her voice echoes off the stone facade, mixing with the thunder. From inside, Amelia's voice echoes coldly through the intercom. Tinny and distant. Go away, Bella. He's gone. This doesn't concern you anymore. The doors stay shut, unyielding. Bella slumps against them, whispering, something's wrong. Xavier belonged to you, but this is murder disguised as shame. She lingers there for a moment, the rain washing away her tears, before turning back to her car, the engine humming to life as she drives away, resolve hardening in her chest. So what really happened to Xavier? Xavier and Amelia always had a not so good relationship, although it started well. Xavier, after time with Amelia, found something weird and always had second thoughts that she had changed. Once, Xavier saw the news where Bella was narrating a story. He was in shock and remembered something. From this point, Xavier changed. He went to Amelia and asked why she had tricked him. Amelia remained silent. Xavier got angry and said, You knew all the time? That you tricked me? I don't belong to you. And he left. After some time, Xavier brought some papers to Amelia, asking her to sign. Amelia was in shock as she saw they were divorce papers. Xavier told Amelia's father that he would step down as the CEO and leave the company after Amelia signed the papers. He then left. Amelia was furious and exploded. How dare he? If he doesn't belong to me, he belongs to no one. Her father added, If he steps down now, the company's stocks will crash and many investors will leave along with him. The reputation of this company will be tarnished. Amelia and her father plotted to drug Xavier, and the news of his overdose was released. But the truth of Xavier's death is only known to Amelia and her father. Bella was curious. No more than curious. She needed to know how Xavier had really died. She was ready to go to any length to find the truth. Even though Amelia and her father had taken her in when she was just an orphan, giving her food, shelter, and an education, Bella had always believed in justice above everything. And now she felt it was her duty to uncover who was behind Xavier's death. From childhood, Bella had known that the butler, Martin, wasn't just a regular servant. He was also a lawyer who worked closely with the CEO, Amelia's father. Martin always followed the CEO's instructions without question. That's why Bella decided to start with him. She printed out a picture of Martin, disguised herself by wearing a hoodie, and began visiting every pharmacy she could find, one after another. At each place, she would show the photo and ask the pharmacist if the man in the picture had ever purchased any medicine from them. It was exhausting and took nearly a month, but finally, at a small pharmacy far on the outskirts of the city, she got a lead. The pharmacist there confirmed that the man had come in and paid in cash. Unfortunately, there were no CCTV cameras around, and she had no hard proof of his visit. She asked the pharmacist what time the man had come in. The pharmacist said, I don't have cameras, but I do keep written records. Still, he was hesitant to say more. I'm sorry, he said. It's not appropriate to give out a client's personal information. Bella, desperate, looked at him with pleading eyes and said, Please, something terrible happened to someone I loved deeply. I'm not here to cause trouble. I just need to know the truth. The pharmacist was silent for a moment, then sighed. Her words had moved him. It was a rainy evening, he said quietly. About a month and a half ago. That man came in, bought some medicine, and told me, I feel bad for that boy. I asked him which boy, but he just said, someone I know is going through depression. I want to help him. The pharmacist continued, normally, I don't sell medicine without a doctor's prescription, but I thought maybe it was his son, and maybe he was too ashamed to take him to a doctor. He seemed sincere, so I didn't ask too many questions. I gave him the medicine and he left. Hearing that, Bella felt a knot form in her stomach. She had suspected it all along. Amelia and her father had planned everything. They had orchestrated the whole situation cleanly, quietly, and made sure the world would never know the truth. But without solid proof, there was nothing Bella could do. So, heart heavy and mind racing, she left the pharmacy quietly. The news explodes, hounding Xavier's parents in their quiet village. Reporters swarm like vultures, cameras flashing, questions shouted over picket fences. Bella waits until they leave, the sun setting low, casting long shadows over the dirt roads. She approaches the modest home, knocking softly. Xavier's father, Mr. Langford, opens the door, eyes red from crying, his face etched with grief. His wife sobs in the background, huddled on a worn couch surrounded by family photos. I'm Bella, she says softly, her voice gentle. I was a friend of Xavier's. They invite her in, the room warm with the scent of herbal tea and fresh baked bread. They share stories of their son's ambition, how he sent money home, called every Sunday, dreamed of lifting them out of poverty. Mr. Langford shows her Xavier's old report cards, yellowed with age, and a photo of him as a boy, grinning toothily. As tears flow, Mr. Langford clutches Bella's hands, his grip trembling. He was our pride. How could this happen? Bella's heart breaks. Memories of Xavier's village stories flooding back. Tales of starry nights and simple joys he shared with her in secret letters. I have to uncover the truth, even if it means exposing the Harringtons, the family that raised me. Suddenly, a dizzying rush overtakes her. The room spins, colors blur like a kaleidoscope. She gasps, what's happening? Her vision tunnels, the faces of Xavier's parents fading into darkness. The world fades to black, leaving only the echo of her pounding heart. When Bella opens her eyes, she's in a familiar yet distant place, her old bedroom in the Harrington bungalow. Sunlight streams through lace curtains, illuminating posters of teen idols and stacks of school books. But she's younger, a teenager, staring at school books and love letters. She stumbles to the mirror, seeing her 16-year-old self, braces gone, but the same wide eyes. Is this a dream or real? Confusion grips her as memories flood back, wave after wave. She's time traveled to high school, the era when she, Amelia, and Xavier became inseparable friends. She touches her face, feeling the smoothness of youth, and sits on the bed, the mattress creaking softly. Amelia, the rich girl confined to a wheelchair after a childhood accident, had taken Bella in as an orphan. They were like sisters, Bella pushing Amelia's chair through school halls, sharing secrets over late night snacks in the kitchen. Then Xavier entered, the new kid with big dreams, his backpack slung over one shoulder, eyes bright with ambition. Bella had secretly written him love letters, pouring out her heart anonymously, sealing them with a kiss in the quiet of her room. Sitting on the bed, Bella finds a stack of those letters, the paper slightly crinkled, ink smudged from her eager hands. How crazy was I? Writing to the boy who ends up with Amelia. Bella muttered to herself, her voice barely above a whisper. So, I've been sent back in time to save him? Why me? Why was I the one chosen for this? Honestly, shouldn't it have been Amelia who time traveled instead? She was the one he chose in the end, not me. I never even got to be with him. She paused, her thoughts tumbling over each other. But then, when I saw his parents so broken, mourning their only son, I felt something. Maybe that's what real love looks like. Parents who would give anything just to have their child back. I wouldn't know. I've never had that. A flicker of pain crossed her face. And to think I once believed Amelia deserved this power, the power to go back and fix things. But she doesn't, not after what she did. She closed her eyes, guilt and doubt weighing heavily on her chest. Still, he never chose me. He never read my letters. He went with Amelia. Maybe he really did love her. But she didn't love him. Not truly. And now, here I am, holding a chance to rewrite everything. But I'm frozen. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I'm scared. What if I mess it all up again? I have no one to talk to, Bella thought, staring blankly ahead. If I told anyone I've time traveled, they'd never believe me. They'd probably think I've lost my mind. She let out a soft sigh, brushing the thought away. I shouldn't dwell on this anymore. It's not helping. I need to focus. Do something. Anything else. She looked around, trying to shift her thoughts. All right, let's see what I can do now. She flips through them, reading snippets aloud to herself, her voice a whisper. One letter describes a short story of a bird finding its way home, inspired by Xavier's village tales. But now, with future knowledge, she vows to change things. I won't write anymore. Xavier's fate is sealed with her. She tucks them away in a drawer, the wood scraping as it closes, and heads downstairs, the grand staircase of the mansion echoing her footsteps. Days pass in a blur. Bella navigates school, helping Amelia as always, wheeling her through crowded hallways, sharing lunches in the cafeteria where the chatter of students fills the air. Xavier joins their circle, his charm lighting up their hangouts at Hang In Park. They picnic under shady trees, the grass soft beneath them, birds chirping overhead. Rom-com moments abound, spilling ice cream on a picnic blanket, Xavier wiping it off with a goofy grin, his fingers lingering a second too long on Bella's arm. They laugh about silly things, a teacher's bad haircut, a failed science experiment, building bonds that feel both nostalgic and new. Yet, as Bella stops the letters, Xavier notices, his brow furrowing in class when no new envelope arrives. He corners the postman one afternoon, the older man sorting mail on his bicycle, a friendly smile on his weathered face. I thought you broke up, the postman chuckles, wiping sweat from his brow. Xavier writes back, not revealing he suspects Bella, and asks the postman to deliver it anonymously. The postman nods, pedaling off with a wink. Bella receives it later that day, slipping into her room after school, the envelope crisp in her hands. Her eyes widen as she reads, the words jumping off the page. He responded, This never happened before. Joy bubbles up, mixed with fear, her heart pounding like a drum. She paces the room, reading and rereading, a smile creeping across her face despite her resolve. Has she already altered the timeline? The thought sends a shiver down her spine, but whispers of mystery linger. Why did Xavier die? And how does this past connect to that fateful future? She tucks the letter away, glancing out the window at the setting sun, wondering what comes next. As Bella reads Xavier's letter, inviting her to meet at Hanging Park, a shadow falls over her. Amelia wheels in, eyes sharp, the wheels squeaking softly on the floor. What's that, Bella? A secret? The door creaks shut, and Bella wonders if history is repeating itself or twisting into something new. Fade into the sun dappled paths of Hanging Park, where laughter once echoed among friends. The leaves rustle gently in the breeze. Children play in the distance, their shouts mingling with the chirp of birds. Bella stands frozen at home, Xavier's letter clutched in her hand, the paper slightly crumpled from her grip. Meet me by the old oak tree at sunset. I have to know who you are. Her heart races. This is uncharted territory. In her original timeline, Amelia intercepted everything, steering Xavier toward her. Bella paces her room, the floorboards creaking underfoot, debating with herself. Memories of future pain flash: Xavier's death, the lies, the heartbreak. Have I already changed the original timeline? This was not meant to happen. In my previous timeline, I didn't get any letters from Xavier, which asked me to come and meet in person. As I didn't get any letters regarding meeting him and expressing his or my love, I thought he was not interested in me and only thought of me as a friend. But Bella hesitates, sitting on her bed, the quilt soft beneath her. I can't go. He's meant for Amelia. She stays home, pacing some more, glancing at the clock as sunset approaches. Meanwhile, Xavier waits in the park, confusion etching his face as the sun dips low, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. He leans against the old oak, its bark rough under his fingers, checking his watch repeatedly. Where is she? He mutters, kicking a pebble that skitters across the path. A group of friends passes by, laughing, but he ignores them, lost in thought. The next day, their group hangout feels awkward. No laughs, just tense silences. They meet at the park again, sitting on benches, the air thick with unspoken words. Amelia notices, wheeling closer to Xavier with a sweet smile, her voice light. Everything okay? She adjusts her blanket over her legs, the fabric rustling. Xavier nods, but his eyes seek Bella across the group, lingering with a mix of curiosity and hurt. Xavier thinks, I'm 100% sure that Bella is the one who was writing the letters to me, but why is she acting weirdly? Was it Bella or someone else? Now I am totally confused. Undeterred, he writes more letters that evening, sitting at his desk in his small apartment, the lamp casting a warm glow. He shares how her words touched him, the short stories she wove in, mirroring his own village tales of starry nights and family bonds. The postman delivers them faithfully the next day, grinning like a rom-com sidekick as he hands it over at Bella's door. Love's in the air, he says with a chuckle, tipping his hat. Bella reads them in secret, hiding in her room after dinner, the mansion quiet except for the distant hum of the refrigerator. She giggles at his witty replies, tracing the words with her finger. He liked my story about the lost bird finding home. That's so him. Their unspoken love simmers, with stolen glances in class. Xavier accidentally bumping her desk during a lecture, whispering jokes that make her blush, the teacher's voice droning in the background. One day, in the school library, they share a quiet moment, shelving books, their shoulders brushing, laughter muffled by stacks of novels. By this time, both Bella and Xavier were in love with each other, but without either of them confessing. Flashback to why the letters were diverged, and Bella didn't get any letters to meet Xavier in the original timeline. In the original life, Amelia discovered Bella's letters. In the original timeline, Amelia discovers Bella's letters later in the story, but in the new timeline, she stops writing letters before that happens. So, without knowing, Bella had already altered the time. In the original timeline, as soon as Amelia found out about the letters, jealousy burned like a fire in her chest. She enlisted her father, CEO Charles Harrington, who bribed the postman. The postman was a normal person. When a normal person is offered money worth years of work, he agrees to it quickly. For him, the love of Bella and Xavier was nothing more than an opportunity to get this money. The postman says, For your daughter, sir. The postman agreed reluctantly. Letters were rerouted to Amelia, leading to that pivotal park meeting where Xavier mistook her for the writer and ended up with Amelia. As previously mentioned, in this timeline, both Bella and Xavier are secretly in love without confessing and are exchanging letters. The letter would usually come around the time when Amelia was at rest or outside with the butler for her treatment checkups. But this time has finally caught up. Amelia spots Bella receiving a letter one afternoon as they study together in the living room, textbooks spread on the coffee table. Who's that from? You're an orphan. Who could it be? Bella replies, "This is from one of my close friends who you might not know." Suspicion flares in Amelia's eyes, her fingers tapping the arm of her wheelchair. Amelia talks in secret with her father later that evening, over dinner in the grand dining room, crystal chandeliers twinkling above. As per Amelia's instructions, Charles investigates the next day, calling the postman to his office, offering a hefty sum. The postman, faced with stacks of cash on the desk, caves. "For your daughter, sir." Suddenly, Xavier's letters divert to Amelia, arriving at her door instead. The scene that happened in the original timeline has finally occurred. Bella notices the silence after a week, sitting alone in her room, staring at the empty mailbox. No more letters? Maybe he moved on. She sighs, thinking it's for the best, though a pang of loss hits her. She busies herself with chores, helping Amelia with homework, their laughter filling the house, but her mind wanders. But mystery brews. Whispers of Amelia's scheming add tension, overheard in school hallways where gossip swirls like autumn leaves. College Fest arrives, a whirlwind of lights, music, and rom-com chaos. The campus is alive with stalls overflowing with games, ring toss, face painting, the scent of popcorn and cotton candy wafting through the air. Friends dodge water balloons in hilarious chases, shrieking with delight as they get soaked. Xavier, guitar in hand, takes the stage amid cheers, the spotlight warm on his face. His song weaves moments from the letters, secret codes only Bella would know, lyrics about lost birds and hidden loves. Her eyes widen from the crowd, heart swelling. Bella says, "It's for me." Amelia fumes silently beside her, realizing the truth, her hands clenched in her lap. Bella started thinking, so he is still interested in me. I think God has done a great favor in this timeline and is showing me all the signs to make Xavier mine. Bella's courage surges during a break as she wanders the fest grounds, sampling snacks and watching performers. Since Amelia isn't with him in the future and he dies, maybe I can change that. She scripts a monologue capturing their letter exchanges, a heartfelt confession disguised as art, writing it late into the night by lamplight. But just before her performance, as the crowd gathers and music pulses, Charles Harrington calls her aside, pulling her into a side tent. "Bella, we need to talk." Curious, she hands the script to Amelia. "Hold this. I'll be back." She follows him, weaving through festive chaos. In a quiet room backstage, Charles's face is stern, shadows playing across his features. "Amelia loves Xavier. I'll give you anything to step aside." Bella is heartbroken, her voice trembling. "No, Xavier won't be happy with her. I know it." Charles snaps, "I took you in as an orphan. How dare you refuse?" The words sting like a slap. Crowd cheers erupt from outside. Bella rushes back to see Amelia on stage, performing her script. Xavier's jaw drops from the audience, thinking Amelia's the one, his eyes wide with surprise. Xavier thinks, "Was that Amelia? I thought that was Bella for sure." Devastated, Bella flees through the fest, dodging revelers, tears blurring her vision. She bumps into an older man, lost amid the stalls. "Need help?" To her shock, it's Xavier's dad, looking just as she remembers from the future. "Don't worry, Uncle, Xavier's fine," she blurts, remembering their future tears, her voice shaky. He laughs, surprised, adjusting his glasses. "How'd you know I'm his father?" Bella jokes, "You're as handsome as him." Blushing, she runs off, weaving through the crowd. Xavier arrives moments later, seeing her flee. "What happened, Dad?" "Met a funny girl," he replies with a chuckle. Later, Xavier confronts Amelia alone in a quiet corner of the fest, away from the noise. "Why didn't you meet me after I sent you the letter?" Amelia fumbles and starts to lie by saying, "I was with my dad and Bella. We were spending some quality time at the hanging park. It was hard for me to choose between you or father and Bella, but I knew even if you were in my place, you would have chosen your parents. I didn't want to hurt them by saying I was not going to go with them," acting like she was kind so Xavier would fall for that. Soon after that, Xavier replied, "You're not the writer." He walks away, piecing it together. Amelia was totally confused and didn't understand what had happened and how Xavier got through her lies. Realization dawns. It's Bella. She was the original writer who wrote me the letters, who received the letters I sent her in the beginning, and she was the one who didn't meet me at the park. He waits after college the next day, cornering her on the steps, students milling around. Why only half the monologue? Where's the other half? Bella replies, Other half? I wrote the monologue using all the letters you gave me. Don't lie like that. She stammers, admitting indirectly. He laughs joyfully. It was you. Shy, she walks away. But at home, she searches for clues, creeping through the mansion's halls. She was having thoughts about Xavier, asking where the other half of the letters were. Bella was sure that Xavier wouldn't lie to her asking for the other half. In Amelia's room, she finds the diverted letters hidden in a drawer. It was her all along, even in the original life. Nausea hits like a wave. She rushes to the bathroom, the tile cold under her feet, the world spinning. During this, Bella thinks, Oh God, don't tell me I'm time traveling again. This was the same feeling when I met Xavier's parents at their hometown. God, why? I thought you were on my side. Finally, when Xavier knows that I am the one who wrote the letters and I am the love of his life, please. Bella wakes dizzy, screaming, Please, Z, in a hospital. Xavier's parents, who were sitting beside her, got scared and were confused. You fainted at our home a day ago. Bella screams, Give me the mirror! Give me the mirror! Even though they didn't find any mirror at the hospital, some of the nurses who got scared brought her medical equipment, then acted as a reflector to use it instead of a mirror. And to her surprise, she's back in the present. She asks Xavier's parents, Where is Xavier? Is Xavier alive? Both of Xavier's parents were totally confused and asked Bella to take some rest as she is not well. Bella is confused and sitting there thinking what is happening. She then says to herself, Okay, Bella, calm down. Let's assess the situation and proceed. As Bella began assessing the situation, she first sees Xavier's parents there in a good mood. Are they sad or what's happening with them? Both Xavier's parents were sitting near the hall with some medical reports and talking to each other, but they were happy as they kept seeing Bella with a smiling face. She then thinks, I thought they were sad because they lost their only son. Why do they seem happy? She is nice back and has a hazel blank face with no proper emotion, but deep down, Bella is still trying to get an idea of what had happened and what is going to happen. She remembers both Xavier's parents saying she was hurt and needed to rest. As soon as she started wondering if Xavier is dead, she then concludes with a question mark. Is Xavier all right? Did I change something? Now she is talking to herself like a madman. Seeing her talk to herself in the hospital, the doctors and nurses started whispering to each other. The old couple brought her into the hospital as she was unconscious, right? We did all the scans and found out there was nothing wrong with her. Is it some kind of new disease or what's happening to her? One of the nurses started saying, I think that's the true condition of this world. She works as a news reporter. I think her job has gotten to her head, and now she still thinks she's in a news agency reading some stupid news. The doctors and nurses look at each other's faces and then say, Okay, we need to leave her for now. She is scaring all of us. We will continue our work and come to check on her after some time. But she continues, Okay, so I was reporting the news that Xavier had died. Then I got to know what was the reason behind it. Then I went to Xavier's parents' home to know if they are doing well. In there, due to some turn of events, I time traveled, and I came back after the time travel. Bella then started searching her bag for her employee ID to check if she was a news reporter or an employee at Amelia's father's company. Because there was a story behind why Amelia chose to be a reporter, in the original timeline, before Amelia and Xavier became lovers, Bella and Amelia were like sisters. After Bella found out that Xavier had chosen Amelia over her, she didn't want to be associated with Amelia anymore. Charles, as he was the CEO, asked Bella to study business and join the company to help him grow the organization. And Amelia said, "Yes, Bella, because of you, I'm so happy right now. And I hope because of you, even in the future, I will be happy. If you stay near me, I think happiness comes to me." But Bella didn't understand what Amelia was saying. But she knew she had to choose what she loves rather than choosing what Amelia and her father wanted her to do. So Bella asked Amelia's father, Charles, that she'll move out of the home and stay alone to achieve her dreams. This is how Bella became a reporter rather than working in Charles's big company. So in her backpack, she was checking if she had altered this or if she is currently an employee at a news agency. And as Bella needed, she still was a reporter at the news agency she used to work at before. She then thinks to herself, I was sad that Amelia and Xavier were in a relationship, so I just wanted to focus on what I love and become successful in it. That was the reason I moved out of that mansion. What could be the reason in this life to move out of Amelia and her father's life? But suddenly her phone buzzes with the message, What did my parents say? As soon as Bella read this, she was now in this belief and started pinching herself too hard that it left red marks on her body because the message was none other than Xavier's. As Bella started reading the chats between her and Xavier, chats revealed they're dating. Has she saved him or unleashed a new mystery? Bella slowly opened her eyes, blinking against the sterile white lights. The room was quiet, except for the hum of a vending machine and the faint scent of antiseptic mixed with coffee. She saw Xavier's parents sitting nearby. Their faces were full of concern, but also relief. Xavier's mother leaned in and said gently, You came to us asking about Xavier, then suddenly collapsed. It's been a day, sweetheart. Bella sat up slowly. Her body felt okay, but her mind was spinning. She whispered in confusion, One day? Just one? That doesn't make any sense. I spent the whole summer back in time, and now it's only been a day here? Her heart began to race. Thoughts swirled in her head like puzzle pieces falling from a shelf. Then her phone vibrated gently on the table beside her. She picked it up and saw a message from Xavier. He had texted, Hey, love, what did mom and dad say? Can't wait to hear. Bella stared at the screen and whispered, Love? She opened their chat and scrolled through long conversations, silly jokes, pictures from dates, plans for the future, all things she didn't remember, but they were there, real. A soft smile spread across her face as she said quietly, We're dating? This is real? Her fingers hovered over the screen like she was touching a dream. In the background, Xavier's parents chatted softly, sharing what Bella had mumbled before fainting. Sunlight filtered through the blinds, gently warming the room. Bella thought to herself, I did it. I saved him. Xavier is alive. He knows I love him. After finishing her water, she hugged Xavier's mom. The moment was warm and full of gratitude. Then she headed home, feeling a strange flutter in her chest that refused to settle. The newsroom buzzed with its usual rhythm, phones ringing, papers shuffling, coffee machines hissing in a steady stream of steam. Journalists murmured over deadlines and breaking news. Screens flickered with live updates. But Bella Thompson moved through it all like a ghost in daylight. She had only left the hospital hours ago. Her body was fine, her gait steady, but her mind still tangled in a haze, the kind that wrapped around her like mist, refusing to lift. Every step felt like walking on borrowed ground. Her hand slipped into her pocket, fingers grazing her phone as if drawn to it by instinct. Her heart caught a beat as her thumb paused over the screen, remembering the message from Xavier. Open quote. Hey, love, what did mom and dad say? Can't wait to hear. Close quote. Love. The word echoed in her like a half remembered song. It shouldn't have surprised her, but it did. Soft, familiar, and yet completely foreign. A voice called out from across the floor, snapping her halfway back to reality. Bella, you're on in 10. A producer, headset crooked and coffee in hand, waved her toward the studio. Bella nodded with a practiced smile and walked in like she always did. But this time, it felt like stepping onto a stage she no longer knew the script for. Live broadcast on air. The lights flared, sharp and blinding. The red tally light on the camera blinked awake. A digital countdown ticked down from 5, 4, 3, 2, and then her voice, clear and confident, filled homes across the city. Open quote. Good afternoon. I'm Bella Thompson. Here are your top stories. Close quote. She read the teleprompter like second nature. Election results, a power outage, the mayor's press conference. Her voice never faltered. Her face held the perfect poise of a seasoned anchor. But inside her thoughts drifted far from headlines and statistics. They drifted to the whisper of another life tugging at her memory. Half forgotten smiles, fleeting laughter. The soft click of her front door echoed into the stillness as she stepped inside. She tossed her bag onto the chair with a sigh, kicked off her heels, and finally let herself exhale. Her apartment greeted her like a memory frozen in time. Warm, vanilla scented candles, a shelf of dog eared books, green plants climbing toward the sunlight. Everything looked the same, and yet something felt off. Not wrong, just shifted. Like she'd walked into a version of her life that had kept going while she'd stepped out of frame. A whole wall lined with frames, dozens of them, all starring her and Xavier, wrapped in each other's arms, laughing over candlelit dinners, wandering through street markets, dancing barefoot on a beach she didn't remember visiting. Bella stopped cold. She walked up slowly, as if the images might vanish if she moved too fast. One hand reached out, fingers brushing the cool glass of a photo. Wow, she murmured with a slow, breathless grin. He looks stupidly handsome in every single one. Close quote. A tiny laugh escaped her lips. She shook her head at herself, bemused. Open quote. All right, Bella, don't lose your mind. Just because your boyfriend looks like he walked out of a romance novel. Close quote. Still, her chest tightened with something warm, something wistful. Maybe joy, maybe longing, maybe both. She sat on the edge of her bed and unlocked her phone. Their message thread glowed back at her, teasing voice notes, flirty emojis, inside jokes layered with meaning, blurry selfies from movie nights and sleepy weekends. She scrolled through them like flipping through a scrapbook made by someone else. Open quote. I hope I can remember all of this, she thought quietly, because this looks like everything I've ever wanted. Close quote. And if it was real, if it was hers, she didn't want to lose it again. Her phone buzzed. Another message from Xavier lit up the screen. Open quote. Hey, love. My parents said you left the hospital and went straight to work. Meet me at the park this evening. I want to see you. Close quote. Bella's breath caught. Her heartbeat fluttered, soft and quick, like pages turning. She looked up at her reflection in the mirror, eyes searching, lips parted. The room held its breath, still and quiet, as if time itself had paused to watch her. She reached down and smoothed the fabric of her dress. Soft, elegant, a gentle shade of midnight blue that kissed her shoulders and floated just above her knees. It moved when she moved, like it had been made for this very moment. She'd chosen it with care, not flashy, but unforgettable. The kind of dress that didn't shout, but whispered. The kind that said, I hope you notice, but I didn't dress for you. I dressed for how you make me feel. Her fingers trembled, just slightly, as she applied a touch of gloss, just enough to make her lips catch the light. She leaned in closer, adjusted a curl resting near her cheek, and let her hands fall to the edge of the frame, grounding herself. Her perfume lingered like a secret, warm, sweet, and only meant to be discovered by someone who got close enough to matter. A pair of earrings shimmered softly against her skin. Her hair was styled just right, soft, natural, not overly done, like she wanted to be kissed, but not for trying too hard. Then came the smile, gentle, nervous, the kind of smile a woman wears when she's about to step into a story she's only dared to dream. All right, she whispered, barely recognizing her own voice, a fragile tangle of fear, hope, and something dangerously close to love. Let's go meet the man I'm apparently already in love with. And with that, she turned, heels clicking gently against the floor, her heartbeat louder than her footsteps, as she walked into whatever fate had written next. Later that evening, at the park, the evening was calm and beautiful. The sky glowed in soft orange and gold as Bella and Xavier walked along a quiet path lined with trees. The breeze moved through her hair, and the rustling leaves whispered overhead. Xavier's fingers brushed against hers every now and then. He looked relaxed, happier than she had seen him in a long time. Xavier smiled and said, "Guess what? I got promoted." Bella turned to him, surprised. "What? That's amazing. Why didn't you tell me earlier?" With a grin, Xavier replied, "Wanted to tell you in person. I'm on the executive strategy team now. Big title, private office. They say I'm the guy who brings in the big investors." Bella nudged him playfully and teased, "Oh, look at you, Mr. Big Deal now." Xavier laughed and added, "What can I say? Harrington Enterprises is practically my playground now." Curious, Bella asked, "So, does that mean you're working directly with Charles Harrington, the CEO?" Xavier nodded and explained, "Yeah, I've been in meetings with him almost every day. He's tough but sharp, a real chess player, always 10 steps ahead." Bella hesitated before asking, "And Amelia, how's she doing at work?" Xavier tilted his head slightly and answered casually, "She's good, still working with the R&D team. We don't interact much, different departments." Bella nodded and looked away briefly. Xavier gave her a side glance and then changed the topic with a grin. "By the way, my parents called me after they got home, said you look beautiful and very cute." Bella's eyes widened. "Oh no." Xavier chuckled and said, "Yeah. Mom said you looked a little stressed too. She told me to take better care of you, or else she'll come after me." Bella groaned and covered her face. "This is so embarrassing." Xavier teased, "You made quite the impression. Apparently, you were like a delicate flower or something." Bella let out a laugh, even as her cheeks turned red. "I'm never going to hear the end of this." Xavier added with a wink, "You're adorable, even when you're unconscious." Bella rolled her eyes and smiled, trying to hide just how much she was blushing. They kept walking, the golden hour now giving way to a soft violet sky. Then Xavier suddenly stopped. He said gently, "Hey, come here." Bella stepped toward him, a bit puzzled. Xavier leaned down just a little, closing the small height gap between them. His voice lowered, warm and playful. "I've wanted to do this all day," he said. As he leaned in, Bella froze and gently pushed him back. Startled, she asked, "What are you doing?" Xavier blinked in confusion. "Kissing you? I thought. I mean, aren't we?" Bella's face turned red as she stammered, "You wanted to kiss me?" Xavier burst out laughing. "You're acting like this is our first kiss. You're hilarious, Bella. Honestly, this is why I love you." Her heart fluttered. The way he said love made something soft and warm explode inside her. Still flustered, she asked, "Wait, we've kissed before?" Xavier grinned mischievously. "Oh, sweetheart, we've done more than just kiss. You, me, your bedroom." Bella's jaw dropped. "What?" Xavier nearly doubled over laughing. "I'm kidding, maybe. Depends how much of your memory comes back." Bella groaned and covered her face with both hands. "I am never going to survive this timeline." Xavier gently wrapped an arm around her shoulders and pulled her close as they continued walking. With a soft smile, he said, "Well, good thing I'm here. I'll walk you through it. One kiss at a time." Bella let out a quiet laugh, her blush still lingering. In that golden haze of a moment, it felt like something broken in time had just been rewritten into something whole. Later that week, Bella drove alone through the winding countryside, the early morning mist hugging the road like a secret. Trees stood tall on either side, familiar landmarks from 100 past drives. But today, every branch, every shadow felt loaded with meaning. Her fingers gripped the wheel tighter than necessary, knuckles white, heart thudding like a war drum. As the Harrington mansion appeared beyond the gates, a chill ran down her spine. The grandeur of the estate didn't intimidate her. She'd been here before. But today, it felt like stepping onto a battlefield. The past, the present, and the fragile threads of the future all seemed to converge here. She rang the bell. A moment later, the grand oak door creaked open. Amelia appeared in the doorway, dressed in satin and spite. Her brows were furrowed, her expression unreadable. There was no warmth in her eyes, only fatigue and a flicker of something darker. "Bella," she said curtly. Without a word, Bella stepped inside. The echo of their footsteps filled the marble foyer, where chandeliers glittered like stars frozen in time. Family portraits stared down from the walls, silent witnesses to decades of secrets. In the lavish living room, the silence was tense until Bella broke it. Her voice was calm but firm. "Why did you hide Xavier's letters?" Amelia stiffened. For a heartbeat, she didn't respond. Then her voice cracked like a whip. "I loved him too." Her eyes burned with old grief. "If I can't have him, neither can you." The words echoed through the room like a curse. Bella took a step forward, her eyes soft with hurt. She reached out, took Amelia's cold hands into hers. "It's okay to love someone," she said gently, "but not to destroy lives in the process." Amelia jerked her hands away, fury rising like a tidal wave. "You think I destroyed lives?" she snapped. "You think I ruined everything?" Her voice grew louder, harsher. "It's because of you. Why did you have to love him too?" Bella opened her mouth to respond, but Amelia kept going, her voice trembling now, broken with vulnerability. "Even though we work in the same office, it feels like we're strangers. Do you know what that feels like? Watching the man you love choose someone else, day after day, while you sit 2 desks away and pretend not to care? You smile, you nod, but inside it tears you apart." Bella's eyes welled up. She whispered, "I do understand. I know how painful it is." Amelia's laugh was bitter, hollow. Don't lie to me." She pointed a trembling finger. "You're an orphan. You don't even remember how your parents died. You can't remember their faces. And you're going to stand there and tell me you understand what it feels like to lose someone you love?" Bella didn't argue. Her voice softened even more. "Amelia, if Xavier had loved you, I would have never come between you two. I swear it." Amelia turned away, hands clenched in her lap. Her next words came in a whisper, but they sliced like glass. "I tried everything, every word, every glance. I tried to make him mine, but he never looked at me the way he looked at you." She turned back to Bella, eyes now filled with something dangerous. "If he doesn't belong to me, then he doesn't belong to anyone." Bella's breath caught. She felt the floor tilt slightly beneath her. This wasn't love. This was obsession. "Amelia," but Amelia interrupted, her voice now deadly calm. "Just watch what I'm about to do. You won't be able to stop me." Bella stepped forward, kneeling by the wheelchair again, trying one last time to reach the girl she once called a friend. "You don't have to do this," she pleaded. "We can change this story, together." But Amelia's anger boiled over. She shoved Bella back with all the force she had. Bella stumbled, her balance lost. The walls spun, colors blurred, the air thickened. Bella's thoughts raced. No, not again. Please, not again. Is this another time jump? Suddenly, she was standing in a golden restroom. The chandelier overhead glinted like a crown. Her reflection stared back at her in the mirror, her adult self, same eyes, same face. But the dress was different. It clung to her frame like it was made for royalty, expensive, elegant, shimmering with luxury. Bella blinked. She touched her face. I didn't de-age this time, she whispered. I'm still me. But why? She stepped into the ballroom and it hit her. The year felt different. People chatted without phones in hand, men wore bulky suits, women flaunted teased up hair and bright lipstick. A string quartet played in the background. This wasn't the present. It wasn't high school either. Early 90s, maybe earlier. And the guests, so many of them, looked familiar. But one face made her heart stop. Charles Harrington. Young, handsome, smiling, completely unaware of the chaos his future held. His wife stood beside him, a vision of grace. But what shook Bella most was the small girl clinging to her mother's skirt. Amelia. Bella's breath caught. She made her way through the room slowly, pretending to sip from a glass of punch. Then she knelt beside the girl, who sat on a carpet playing with wooden toys. Hi there, Bella said, smiling. What's your name? The child giggled. Amelia. Her mother looked over and offered Bella a polite nod. And you? Bella, she replied softly. They chatted for a moment, just small talk. But inside, Bella's mind was spinning. Was this the night of the accident? The party soon faded. Music dimmed. Guests filtered out in small groups. Outside, Charles stumbled toward his car, tipsy and laughing. Bella's eyes darted to a vase on a decorative table, heavy, marble. She grabbed it. Street lights bathed the parking lot in cold, yellow light. Shadows stretched, distorted. She followed Charles, each step louder than the last. She hesitated behind him. I'm sorry, she whispered. The vase connected with a dull thud. Charles slumped to the ground, groaning. If I didn't stop you, the accident would have ruined all our lives. Sirens screamed minutes later. Blue and red lights painted the driveway. Paramedics rushed inside. Bella disappeared into the crowd. At the hospital, she moved like a ghost. She pressed herself against the walls, careful not to be seen. In one room, she saw them Charles, bruised but alive, his wife in tears, little Amelia clutching her mother tightly. Bella felt relief bloom in her chest, but she wasn't done. She walked further and stopped at another room. There was a man on the bed, bloodied, a woman beside him holding his hand. In her lap, a baby. Bella stared, her breath caught. That baby was her. Time stopped. That's me, she whispered. That's me as a baby. Memories surged, scattered images, whispers of pain, fragments of love long forgotten. It all made sense now. The accident killed my parents. I lost my memory. It paralyzed Amelia. And Charles, he adopted me. Not out of charity, out of guilt. Bella staggered back, heart thudding. Her past wasn't just entwined with Amelia's, it was born from the same fire. Tears stung her eyes, but she couldn't cry. Her chest ached with truth. The dizziness came again, stronger this time, deeper. And then everything went black. Bella awoke to golden light filtering through soft curtains, the room washed in the kind of warmth that whispers of peace. Stripes of sunlight danced across a modest bedspread. Not silk, not satin, just cotton, worn and familiar. She blinked at the unfamiliar walls. There were no grand chandeliers above her head, no high ceilings echoing with silence, No oil portraits watching from gilded frames, just stillness, just quiet. She sat up slowly, as if afraid to wake a dream. Her breath caught in her throat, somewhere between wonder and disbelief. She felt safe, as if the chaos had finally ended, as if she had somehow finally arrived at the life she was always meant to live. And yet there was something unnameable blooming in her chest. Was it peace, joy, or simply the silence that follows a long, long storm? Then it came, the scent, warm, buttery, familiar, in her in a way that tugged something deep inside her. Pancakes? She barely had time to wonder before a voice called out, gentle, casual, full of unfiltered love. Breakfast, sweetie? Bella froze. It wasn't Amelia. It wasn't a maid. It wasn't the careful courtesy of the Harrington estate. No, this voice carried something else entirely. It was soft and real. She pushed the covers away, bare feet meeting the cool kiss of old wooden floors. Down the hall, soft laughter rang out, low and warm like a memory trying to surface. She followed it, heart pounding. Then she saw them. In the kitchen, light spilling across tiled counters and potted herbs on the windowsill. Her mother stood flipping pancakes, her movements graceful and familiar in ways Bella could never explain. Beside her, a man smiled from behind a newspaper, eyes crinkling with happiness, not power. Her father. Not the parents from stories whispered in grief, not photographs in dusty frames, but living, breathing here. Morning, honey, her mother beamed, arms opening wide. Bella walked straight into them. No hesitation, no words, just the ache of years bursting out all at once. She broke. Tears fell, hot, unfiltered, relentless. She didn't explain. She didn't have to. Her parents embraced her without question, held her as if she'd always belonged. Their concern was real, immediate. Sweetheart, are you okay? What's wrong? Are you hurt? But Bella only clung tighter. She had spent lifetimes holding back. Now she simply let go. For the first time, she knew what it meant to be someone's daughter. Not an heir, not a duty, not a symbol of a name carved in stone. Just theirs. And in that kitchen, with pancakes cooling on the stove and laughter curling through the air, Bella let herself belong. Days passed, not in rushing drama or broken timelines, but in soft, ordinary moments. College classes, sunset walks, movie nights with popcorn spilled on the floor, long conversations over dinners that lasted too long because no one wanted to say goodnight. It wasn't grand, it wasn't tragic, it was normal, beautifully, heart achingly normal. Bella had graduated high school in this life. Now college beckoned again, the same campus, but a different story. No wheelchair beside her, no responsibilities shaped by guilt. This time she walked alone. And yet, not alone. The campus buzzed with energy, students sprinting to class, music pulsing from earbuds, coffee cups gripped like lifelines. And then she saw him, Xavier. There he was, tousled hair, sharp eyes that always seemed to see just a little too much, the same scuffed sneakers, a scholarship badge now pinned to his chest. He looked the same, but everything around them had changed. They collided near a row of lockers, her books slipping from her arms, pages fanning across the floor like startled butterflies. Oh, sorry, she gasped, dropping to her knees. Let me help, he said, kneeling beside her. Their hands met, briefly, softly, and a spark zipped through her like a secret being remembered. He paused, eyes narrowing slightly. Have we met before? He asked, more to himself than to her. I don't know why, but you feel familiar. Then he smiled sheepishly. Sorry, I'm Xavier. Bella's heart skipped. I'm Bella, she said quietly, and I feel the same. There it was again, that soft pull, a thread connecting them across timelines, across lives. That night, beneath a patchwork quilt, Bella began writing again. Letters, just like before, no signature, just her truth. And then a reply, folded neatly, slipped under her door. Xavier. His words met hers like puzzle pieces, curious, thoughtful, aching with recognition neither of them could quite name. The letters became their language, their ritual, their heartbeat. Then one day, his note held just one line. "Meet me at the park?" She went. Of course she did. They sat together on a bench as twilight fell, breeze brushing past like an old friend. For a while they said nothing. Then slowly, like petals unfolding, their truths came out. They talked about stories they never dared write, the futures they were afraid to dream. Their letters became voices. Their silence became connection. And time, once so chaotic, now moved gently around them. Later, on a night where stars blinked like secrets, Xavier spoke again, quiet, searching. "The more I'm with you, the more I feel like I've done all this before, like I'm reliving something I never wanted to lose." Bella didn't speak. She didn't have to, because she remembered all of it: the photos, the past, the kisses beneath park lamps, the lives that had already passed between them. "You're my mystery girl," Xavier whispered, brushing a lock of hair from her face. Bella smiled. "And you've always found me." Their kiss beneath the hush of night felt like an echo finally reaching its destination. Time stopped playing tricks. One weekend, the fair returned to town. They laughed through sticky fingers and off key music, danced like no one was watching, even though the whole town was. And then Bella saw her across the street, Amelia, walking, whole, radiant, her arm linked with her mother's, stepping out of the Harrington building with ease. Bella's chest clenched, but not with sorrow. Amelia's mother turned, locking eyes with Bella across the distance. No words passed, but she mouthed something. A thank you. Bella didn't hear it, but she didn't need to. She knew. In this new timeline, she'd never met Amelia's mother, never spoken a word. And yet, the woman knew. She remembered. Somehow, she knew what Bella had done and was grateful. Bella's breath caught, emotion curling in her throat like a wave. She smiled, softly, and turned back to Xavier. This was her life now, and it was enough. College ended. Time moved again. Bella and Xavier built something real, stitched with small victories and glorious messes, disastrous cooking classes, local news segments where Bella's voice calmed entire cities. Xavier rising on his own merit, his stories now his own. Every evening he returned home with a grin and a kiss, and the kind of love that never stopped choosing her. And then, years later, an invitation, a wedding, a reunion. The garden was flooded with light, every leaf kissed by gold. Bella and Xavier arrived looking like they'd stepped out of a dream. Among the guests, Amelia, grown, strong, standing beside her boyfriend, laughter in her eyes. Their gazes met. No tears, no history, just a nod, like strangers who once shared a single heartbeat in another life. And that, Bella thought, was enough. As vows were spoken and the past breathed its final breath, the mystery of Bella's time travel remained unsolved. But one truth endured: her love had rewritten the world. Final line slow, deep, gentle underneath. And so, dear listener, as their lips met beneath a sky painted with fireworks, time folded itself into peace. No more loops, no more lost letters, just love lived fully, finally. The story of Bella and Xavier, the girl who rewrote fate and the boy who always found her. Dear listener, thank you, truly, for walking this journey with us. From the very first page to the final breath of episode 4, you've been here, feeling every heartbeat, every twist of time, and every quiet miracle in Bella's story. Creating this audiobook series has been a labor of love. And if Bella's journey moved you, comforted you, or reminded you of the beauty in second chances, then I hope it stays with you long after the credits fade. If you found something meaningful here, something worth holding on to, I invite you to share this series with someone you love: a friend, a partner, a sibling, maybe even someone who believes, like Bella did, that time can be rewritten if the heart is willing. Because sometimes stories don't just entertain us, they remind us who we are and who we still have time to become. Until our next story together, this is Sam, your narrator and host from the Murmur Box. With all my heart, thank you